Welcome, both longtime lions and newly awakened cubs of the Zodiac, to Golden Fortune Leo, a space where cosmic wisdom meets unapologetic Leo flair, and yes, where we take astrology seriously, but never ourselves too seriously. If this is your first time here, consider this your official invitation to the den. And if you've been with us before, welcome back, royalty. Now, let's get one thing straight. June 21st isn't just another Wednesday marked on your astrology app. No, it's a celestial event, a cosmic waltz choreographed by the universe itself. Mercury, the planet of thought and communication, is gliding through the emotionally intelligent sign of Cancer and forming a rare trine to the North Node in Pisces, a deeply spiritual alignment that doesn't just knock on the door of fate. It kicks it open and says, Leo, are you ready for divine love, or are you still texting your ex for closure? This portal is not just any alignment, it's your cosmic appointment with destiny. And who better to receive it than the chosen ones? Yes, I said it, you. Because if there's one sign born to bask in both romantic grandeur and spiritual growth, it's Leo. You're not just looking for love, you want a love that sees you, mirrors your soul, and maybe claps when you walk into the room. But let's be clear, this isn't just about finding someone who thinks you're cute when you cry at Pixar movies. This trine blends emotional authenticity with spiritual surrender. Mercury in Cancer is going to tug on your heartstrings. Expect emotional conversations, maybe even a few late-night journal entries that start with, "I never say this, but." Meanwhile, the North Node in Pisces asks you to trust what you can't see, to follow the poetic pull of intuition rather than your usual lion logic. Put simply, this is about being seen not just for your charisma or confidence, but for the raw, vulnerable, deeply feeling human beneath the crown. And let me tell you something, when a Leo allows that level of depth to shine through, it's not just magnetic, it's sacred. This moment is calling for your heart to show up fully dressed, but also barefoot. Crown on, but ego softened. Loud when needed, but silent enough to hear the subtle cues of destiny. So no, it's not a coincidence you stumbled onto this video. The universe nudged you here for a reason. Stay with me, Leo, because in this year of triumph 2025, you're not just finding love, you're remembering that you've been lovable all along. Let's take a moment to appreciate the timing of all this, because the universe clearly has a flair for drama, and I say that with deep respect as someone who has spent decades decoding cosmic patterns, planetary alignments, and the beautiful mystery of Leo psychology. Right now, we're not just dealing with Mercury trining the North Node, we're also entering the sacred gateway of the summer solstice. That's right, the sun, your ruling planet, is literally standing still in the sky, striking its most radiant pose. If celestial bodies could flex, this would be the equivalent of the sun taking a shirtless selfie with the caption, "Still the center of the solar system." Just saying. Now, toss in a grounded moon in Taurus, and what you've got is a rich blend of sensual presence and emotional depth. This is the cosmic equivalent of someone bringing you flowers and remembering your dog's name. It's real. It's tangible. It's not someone ghosting you for 3 lunar cycles then popping back up with a "Hey, stranger." This is energy that wants to root love in something sustainable, not in your imagination, but in your body, your breath, your calendar. And speaking of imagination, let's talk about dreams. Because during this solstice portal, dreams aren't just random reels of subconscious nonsense. They're previews, divine trailers of what's coming next. You might wake up wondering, was that a soulmate visit or just another Timothy Chalamet cameo? Both are valid. Only one is likely. Pay attention to the symbols that show up. Water represents your emotional tides, bridges symbolize transitions and soul connections, and if a lion shows up, well, that's not just your subconscious, it's your higher self saying, "Hey, Royal One, you're walking towards something sacred." Just promise me you'll write it all down before coffee turns it into a distant blur, because cosmic downloads don't usually hang around for your third latte. Now here's where things get even more interesting. With Mercury swimming through the emotional waters of Cancer, your usual charm is now laced with depth. Leos are no strangers to admiration. You've been catching eyes since preschool, but now? People aren't just drawn to your looks or leadership. They're pulled toward your heart. Your honesty. Your willingness to feel and be felt. Even crying at a Pixar movie, which, let's be honest, you do every time, now becomes an act of emotional courage. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's your new superpower. In fact, this whole portal is less about performing and more about becoming. It's not about winning someone over, it's about revealing the raw, radiant truth of who you are. And Leo, when you do that, when you speak with real feeling, when you stop hiding behind your mane and let people see your soul, that's when love finds you, not the version of you the world claps for, but the one that quietly hopes, aches, laughs, and dreams. This is your invitation to attract love not just with presence, but with purpose. Let's talk about one of the most magical and, let's be honest, slightly bizarre phenomena in the cosmos, synchronicity. If you're a Leo, and especially if you're finally leaning into that year of triumph 2025 energy, you're about to notice that the universe has been leaving breadcrumbs along your path like an overly enthusiastic spiritual tour guide. I'm talking repeated numbers on clocks, license plates that spell your name backward, and lyrics from songs you haven't heard in years showing up at the exact moment you're thinking about someone you haven't texted since Mercury's last retrograde meltdown. But don't dismiss these as coincidences. No. These are cosmic nudges. Think of them as little I see you messages from the divine, designed specifically for your lion-hearted journey. When you keep spotting 1111 or hear the same message 3 times in one day from 3 completely unrelated people, a barista, your therapist, and your great aunt Sheila, you're not losing your mind, you're being divinely redirected. And if you see a fish 3 times in one day, that's not just a sushi craving. That's the Pisces North Node saying, hey Leo, open that heart chakra. We're getting closer. Here's the kicker, as a Leo, you're already naturally tuned into symbolism, you just usually prefer it to come with gold trimming and a dramatic soundtrack. But right now, the universe is more subtle. It's giving you secret signals like a rom-com best friend with a wink and a nudge. These synchronicities? They're your GPS toward love. And in your year of triumph, the route is not only direct and scenic, it's probably lined with roses, artisanal gelato, and at least one ex watching from the sidelines, regretting everything. And just when the signs are warming your heart, something else begins to shift. The old emotional baggage you've been dragging around like a suitcase with one broken wheel? It starts falling away. That playlist full of breakup ballads? You don't even need it anymore. Those past patterns, clinging, controlling, constantly trying to fix the emotionally unavailable, begin to fade like fog in the morning sun. And what's wild is, you won't even miss them. You'll wake up one day and realize you haven't spiraled into overthinking in weeks. You'll feel calm, grounded, maybe even flirty. And if someone triggers you, you'll probably just smile, sip your tea, and move on like the royalty you are. Because here's the truth, real kings and queens don't chase chaos, they attract clarity. They don't beg for love, they embody it. That's what makes you magnetic now. You're not here to rewrite anyone's emotional syllabus. You're here to attract a partner who's done their homework and maybe even teaches their own class on how to love a Leo without making it all about you. Now let's get into something most people overlook, the body. Leos, you may rule the heart, but this portal is turning your entire body into a divine compass. Heart flutters when someone enters the room? Follow that. Sudden chill when you read a message? Pause. An unexplainable urge to visit a cafe you've never been to before, only to lock eyes with a stranger who looks oddly familiar? That's not caffeine withdrawal. That's divine alignment. Your instincts are on fire right now. After everything you survived in 2023, and let's be real, it was character building to the max, you've earned the right to trust your gut again. So if your body says yes, even if your brain's trying to overthink it, listen. And if your body says run, especially when someone shows up wearing socks with sandals and insists on explaining their entire birth chart during appetizers, respect that too. Because the truth is, in the great symphony of divine timing, your body is the instrument. And right now, it's perfectly tuned to love. Alright, Leo, let's get real for a second. I've been studying astrology, karmic cycles, and the many flavors of human psychology for decades, and if there's one sign that always keeps things interesting, it's you. Bold, passionate, warm-hearted, but also deeply misunderstood. And now, in this rare cosmic window, you're not just seen. You're understood. Truly. This isn't about applause anymore, it's about resonance. Let's start with something that might sound simple, but is actually sacred: conversation. And no, I'm not talking about small talk at parties where someone asks your rising sign before your name. I'm talking about the kind of conversations that open portals, healing conversations. The kind where you say something you've never said out loud before, and instead of awkward silence or unsolicited advice, the person across from you actually hears you. You speak. They listen not just to your words, but to the tremble in your voice, the history in your eyes. Maybe you cry. Maybe they do too. And suddenly, it's not just emotional, it's energetic. You're releasing karma like steam from a tea kettle. And in the middle of all that, someone asks you, do you believe in soulmates? And you don't roll your eyes or deflect with humor. You say, I didn't. Until now. And they say, I was hoping you'd ask. That's what this portal is offering you, Leo. A chance to be heard not as the symbol, not as the star, but as the soul. Someone finally sees past the persona and into the person. And maybe that's the first time in a long time that feels safe. Now, while we're here, can we talk about how creative you're feeling lately? I mean, your muse has come back from vacation, and she's drinking triple espressos. You're suddenly writing poems in your notes app at midnight, doodling on napkins, or filming 3 TikToks in a row with zero shame. And sure, maybe only your cat is watching. But guess what? Creativity isn't about the audience right now, it's about the frequency. Because when you create from that honest, unfiltered Leo heart, you send out a signal. And maybe, just maybe, your soulmate picks up that frequency. Maybe they stumble across your short film, your blog post, your meme that makes them laugh so hard they have to message you. Maybe that half-written love song from 2018 finally gets its chorus, and when you sing it, someone finally hears the real you in it. Don't underestimate this power. The act of creating something true is the act of becoming visible to the soul that's meant to find you. And then there's time. Oh, Leo, time is going to start acting very weird in the best possible way. You'll miss your bus and meet someone you never would have crossed paths with otherwise. Your coffee will take too long, and while you're waiting, you'll overhear a conversation that cracks something open in you. You'll take a wrong turn and end up at exactly the right place. That's not coincidence, it's divine choreography. The universe doesn't care what your planner says or how tightly you've scheduled your week. This portal bends the clock. It doesn't run late, it runs on meaning. And in the year of triumph 2025, your timeline isn't just right. It's blessed. Which brings us to the big picture. June 21st is the spark, not the finale. This energy extends well into late June and beyond. Mercury squaring Chiron delivers some truth bombs, yes, the kind that sting first and then heal like honey. And with the Sun conjunct Jupiter, your entire love life is being expanded, amplified, and supercharged. Even your chances of finally meeting someone who doesn't take 3 days to reply to a text? Upgraded. But perhaps the most important part of this transit isn't what's coming to you. It's what's awakening in you. Because, dear Leo, you're no longer chasing love. You're becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it. That's the real shift. That's what being one of the chosen ones means. Not that love will fall into your lap while you binge-watch dramas, although, hey, it might. But that you're stepping into the version of yourself who doesn't need to beg, prove, or perform. You're simply ready. And when you're ready truly, soul-deep ready love arrives. It has no other choice. So here's your closing wisdom from someone who's seen a few Saturn returns in their day. Fluff your mane. Open your heart. Let go of your expectations, but hold tight to your joy. Say yes to the weird timing, the midnight ideas, the stranger who says something that oddly feels like déjà vu. Because your divine partner? They're not lost. They're on the way. And more importantly, you've become the person who knows how to welcome them in. Now, before you go floating off into the spiritual ethers or running off to write that poetry chapbook, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel Golden Fortune Leo. We've got more cosmic insights, Leo love letters, and probably a few sarcastic jokes waiting just around the next celestial corner. Until then, enjoy your life, Leo. Not because someone's watching, but because you finally are. And that's the triumph.